Liv, I feel very naked without my team. Honestly, it's a little weird.
I can play on your team.
You can be here. I'm about it.
Okay.
All right. So, guys, if you don't know, we have a guest today. Now that she's right here front and center, you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Marigot Miller, and I am the owner-operator of the Abbey Burgers.
The Abbey Burgers. There's 3, right?
There are 3.
So, closed down Fed. So now there's Fells and Mount Wash. And then where's the third one?
Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace.
It's a really cute town.
Is that that's the 4th one that you opened?
We had one in Ocean City that...
That's a tough town.
Well, yeah, it was really big and seasonal, and COVID did us in.
Very, very tough town to compete
So now we
in.
can go to the beach and have fun.
Yeah, right. And then which one's the original?
It was Federal Hill, unfortunately.
Which one's the flagship today?
Well, can I say I have a favorite, like a
Yeah.
child? Mount Washington, because it's closest to my home, and I always spend the most time there.
Fair. I love Mount Wash because it's closest to my home and it's easiest one to get to.
Yes.
I have 2 very funny stories about Mount Wash, but you guys carry some of our favorite beers, which is one of the reasons that we choose to go there. I'm not a big beer drinker, but there have been a couple times where we've been there and you guys have like, I think it's Peabody Heights does like
Oh, the Gatorade?
the Gatorade.
Haterade.
I don't know. It's
It
delicious
is,
and it's
usually
green.
looks like, I was going to say like neon, like something you shouldn't drink, but
Yeah,
then you do. And
it is delicious.
Yes.
We talk about that one often. And then there was one time where my wife bought me sunglasses. Anyway, long story. I left them at the bar. It's the only time I've ever lost my glasses.
That's impressive.
And I call and they're like, oh yeah, we have them. And then I go in and the bartender's like, dude, are these like nice? Like I was just going to throw them away. They look like cheap sunglasses. My wife was almost going to kill me. But alas, Abbey Burger's been a straight vibe. And if you guys don't know, Abbey Burger is one of the better places to get like a real, I'm going to call it genuine burger. But at Abbey, one of my favorite things is that you can create your own.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Build
your own burger.
6 different patties, 8
more than
different
that.
patties.
More than that. It constantly changes too because we always have rotating meats.
Alligator meat and
Yeah.
kangaroo meat. And
Kangaroo is current.
what's the weirdest thing that you guys have had on the menu?
Ostrich,
That's not weird.
New Zealand red deer, kangaroo,
might-
alligator.
How is New Zealand red deer? Was that like just eating?
It's like
deer?
venison.
Yeah. Okay, so
It
it's not
just
that
sounds cooler when you say New Zealand
Right.
red deer because that's where it comes from.
weird. But like anything uniquely weird, like alligator, crocodile, that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, alligator definitely is one of the more weird. It tastes like chicken though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very lackluster about it because I wanted it to be something cool, and then when I got it, it was like alligator bites, and I was like, okay, it tastes like not good chicken nuggets. Like,
It's all in the sauce. No.
yeah. But it is a fun place to go. You guys can get pretty much anything on your burger. And then you guys always cap them off with the homemade pickles, which is my favorite.
Habanero pickles.
Love
They're
a good pickle.
Super spicy and with a local honey, and
Yeah.
it's delicious.
I don't think of them as like spicy though. I think of them as
Sometimes.
they've got a kick.
We make them in-house, so at the bottom of the barrel, like those ones.
You
are
gotta
surprise.
slosh them up for the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're not at Abbey Burger, what are you doing?
Hanging out with my kids, my
Okay.
family, I've got 2 daughters. They're awesome. They do gymnastics and one does softball. So hanging out with them or my husband, going out, eating, drinking.
Funny, interesting coincidence. You were out at Chipperelli's recently.
Yeah, that's one of our Monday night traditions.
So my friend Chris works at Chipperelli's.
I know Chris.
Aha. Now we've connected the dots. And he said something like, oh, they're coming on the podcast. And I went, oh, that's super cool. I didn't even connect the dots, but it turns out that you guys have known each other for a long time.
Yep.
And Chris was on the podcast.
Oh, he was?
Oh,
I
yeah.
missed that one. Maybe after I came on board. But yeah, Brian, the owner, grew up with my husband and they actually lived like catty corners to each other all through growing up, and then hadn't seen each other in a while. And I met his wife in Florida at a food show, and I was like, you need to meet this couple. And he was like, it's my neighbor.
I know them. Yeah, small to more. Small to more.
Actually, we're going to New York next week for the 100 best wines in the world. He does more of the wine thing.
Yeah.
And we just tag along.
Brian is an interesting character.
I love Brian.
I worked for Brian for a short period of time.
I also love my husband, just for the record.
Make sure we tag that, right? But just an interesting character, and not the type of person that you think goes like, deep into things, and certainly not wine. But he really and he loves to share it. That's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of the coolest thing about Brian. He'll be drinking, it could be a $20 bottle, it could be a $200 bottle, but he's drinking it. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to try?" And you're like, "Dude, don't waste this on me."
No, he likes it. He definitely
But he
likes
is,
sharing. His
yeah,
wine
he's
cellar
very much about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I actually don't even know where Brian lives. Is he still in Little Italy? No.
He's back in Little Italy.
He's back in Little Italy. So moved there, moved down. I feel like that's what happens in Little Italy.
Yeah.
But, to each their own. So where do you guys live?
Right on Timonium.
Oh, okay. So you guys are close.
Yep, super close.
You go to Rebounders? Is that the one? in
Yeah,
Timonium?
my daughter's a state champion.
Yeah, they do a lot there. My cousin was I don't know, national something at Rebounders for
Rebounders is
her
cool.
whole life. Yeah, and I live in Lutherville, so I love the
yeah.
Mount Wash community. I certainly understand why you favor that one. We don't want to say it too heavily.
Now in the city, I mean, we started in Federal Hill, and Federal Hill has changed. And
Yeah.
we used to live in Federal Hill, so and I loved that was my favorite then.
Did you walk there?
Absolutely, I could
Yeah,
then.
I was like-
Back then I could.
You couldn't park there. It was in the alley, like it was
Yeah, you can't
nestled
park-
up in there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I used to be able to walk even late at night and feel okay. That's
I tell everyone, if you're coming to Baltimore, walk where you're going, Uber on your way home. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I don't care. You're just like, it's a safety precaution. And it's not because it's like inherently dangerous. It's just like, you don't need to be out there.
Right.
Come on. And Fed Hill is the same. We were out in Fed recently, and there was a humongous presence of police in the area, which is very comforting, to be honest with you. But it's sad to know that we've gotten to a place that we need that. So it's almost like we've gone so far that now we're in a good place again, in my feeling.
same thing with Fells Point. Like we have a lot more police presence.
A lot of it. But it's good.
Yeah, no,
I think it
bleed
really-
blue. I bleed blue. I fully support the police
It
officers.
enriches what we have. It creates the opportunity. So if you weren't doing Abbey Burger, what would you be doing and why?
I actually do have a whole nother career.
You have a whole nother venture.
Yeah.
Tell me about
I
it.
am an autism specialist.
Okay.
That is my career. But when I went to school for autism to get my master's, I worked in restaurants to pay for school. And when my husband, he wasn't my husband then. We were engaged. When he started the restaurant, I was still teaching special education.
Interesting.
And after, 2 kids, I was like, okay, let me do more consulting so it's not a full-time and more at the restaurant. And then with COVID, it just kind of
So Abbey Burger was like his baby.
Yep.
Interesting.
Now it's become my baby. That's why I'm here and he's not.
Right. Hot take. I believe all of us are on the autism spectrum. Every single human
Absolutely.
being. I think it's wonderful
Just a
that there are
different way of
people.
learning.
Oh, absolutely. I think there are so many people that commit to that and support people in. I guess I want to call it a community, even though it's not really. But I think they need it. And
Absolutely.
from the people that I've met that have more severe forms of autism,
I learned so much.
They're just uniquely funny autistic individuals, like uniquely
No filter.
wild. Yeah, I mean, they just go, and I feel like there's just a lot of community for that. So it's interesting that you go that route. It's also interesting that based on your new logo, which we have here, just a feature in case anybody's wondering, my comment was that in this world of modernist and creative design and all this other stuff, this is effectively like clip art from the 90s, which I think is very apropos, and also the retro vibe really sets in for Abbey Burger to me.
I think we're stuck in the olden days, the good old days.
Okay. So if you weren't going to Abbey Burger, because my topic today was, all the unique food venues, all the places that we go around the city. If you weren't going to Abbey Burger, where would you go for a good meal, happy days with your husband?
I love Baltimore because of the food scene.
Okay.
Unfortunately, during COVID, we did lose a lot of it. But I think they're popping back up, hopefully, here to stay. And it's great just to see that it's not a lot of chain restaurants. There's a lot of locally owned mom and pop husband and wife teams that run a restaurant. Chiparelli's came from family. It came from his dad. Or maybe even his grandfather.
Yeah, it was Chiparelli, grandfather.
So, that's cool. And their salad and their wine
And
is often...
don't listen, Brian. Their prices.
Yeah.
Right? Like, honestly, one of the reasons that I enjoy going there, and it's not, something you're proud of, but like, I love going there with the family of 4, 6, 10, and feeling like you just got a real wholesome meal for not like ripping you off.
Absolutely.
Right? Even if you choose not to valet, even if you add valet and it's only like $12.
Yeah.
We valeted over the weekend, $39.
It's a little bit different in Harbor East.
Well, it's a little different in everywhere, right?
Mount Washington is still $0.25 per hour. It's the cheapest that it gets for parking on the street.
But it's only through 6?
o'clock.
Yeah, it's not even late. Like most of the time when I go to Mount Wash, I either I pay for my parking every single time.
Right,
or
obviously.
B, I'm there at 5:45, right? Like I'm there as parking's letting up. So it really doesn't cost anything to park on the street. But shout out to Chiparelli's. One of the reasons that we go there is because when you're in the mood for just like down home, as I call it, like country cooking, right? Just like grandma's making food.
Absolutely.
Comfort food. You're just, and you don't want to get like screwed.
No.
We used to go to Five Guys. Five Guys is remarkably expensive. All right, well,
but I have heard that they are actually comparable to our prices, which is crazy because it's fast food and we're not.
What does a burger cost on your menu? Let's look.
So the Build-A-Burger starts at $12.
Build-A-Burger's $12.
Yep. And then
you've got Angus beef, crab dip, cherrywood bacon, and cheddar for $20. I don't even feel like that's an awful price
point. The
point.
crab dip, it makes it go up. But,
of course.
But the other things usually
that's
are
the most
standards
expensive
like, like 14, 15.
Yeah, but I think that's not bad. And it comes with the chips, the house-made chips, which are delicious. But Five Guys, which, shame on you, it's delicious. And you need to know your competition. But when you go there, it's now, $12, $14, $17. And then you're getting, fries and a soda and everything else. But it's not service. It's not the community. It's not the atmosphere that you get at Abbey Burger. No beer at Five Guys. They do have milkshakes, though. You guys also did milkshakes for a while.
We still do. We're bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
We do milkshakes, and we do adult milkshakes, which are even more amazing.
Where am I missing this?
Yep, adult under desserts.
Oh, I see it.
Right now, we are featuring the burger cookie milkshake, play on the burger.
There you go.
But obviously, we're not putting hamburger meat in the burgers. But it's the
Baltimore burger cookie. You got to know. You got to know your audience.
Yes.
But if you were going out for something like that, it used to be like a casual. You go up to the Five Guys, it'd be $15, $18 for two people, and then go back home. No big deal. Well, now it's $27, $32. It's like a sit-down meal, and sometimes it's more comfortable just to drive down to Chiparelli's. Right. The price points are always approachable. You can get a meal for two. As a matter of fact, we did this recently at Chiparelli's. 2 drinks. I had an iced tea, so 2 drinks and a soft drink. 2 meals, 2 salads, bread, everything. It was $62, including tip.
That's awesome.
And you can't do that anywhere else. No. Shout out to Brian, but don't raise your prices.
Right.
But if it wasn't Chiparelli's, going around the city, where else would you go?
I like just hopping around, trying new places.
Do you have like a new place that you've been to lately?
Well, I love. Well, this is not new, but Yama Sushi is awesome. It's
that the one
in Hampton, right? Not in the shopping center.
Where?
Giant Shopping Center.
Oh, up the hill?
Yep, it's really close. That's because my kids love sushi.
How does it compare to Sushiana?
They're both really good. It's a lot less pricey.
There's also a sushi place in Mount Wash that I never remember.
Chayo's really good too.
Also very, very good. Not as affordable in certain ways, but it's very, very good.
But Yama has great lunch specials, and because I think the secret's out that they turn over so much. That's a big thing you want with a sushi place, in my opinion. It's like you don't want it sitting around, so it's always very fresh.
John, is that where you get sushi?
No,
not the right sushi place. Where is that? Somewhere on Grubhub, sure.
You shouldn't do Grubhub.
Well, I agree, but he's also the type of person that's like, I'm here, I'm working, I'm not leaving. Right. So he orders here.
And then you get some.
Well, he does, order for everyone. You can't have, that's like kindergarten.
Right.
You can't have some and not have enough for everybody. So, but it is very good. And that's one thing that I will say, growing up, there wasn't a lot of cultural food just in general. And now I feel like we have a lot more, especially when it comes to sushi, but cultural food in general. Where did we just go? We went somewhere that we don't go often. Oh, we went to Reader's Crab House, which is out in Baltimore County, but we don't go there very often. It was really good this weekend.
I've never been.
Super simple. Crab House in a strip mall. It's not like, on the water or anything fancy, but there's nothing on the water in Reisterstown. Right. So we went out there because we wanted to get something small and easy without going overboard, and then we wanted to go to the Cow. Have you been to the Cow? Oh, see, now we have a problem.
I don't often get out. Like,
you need to.
I know.
You have to go the other way, right?
I
So
know.
from where you live, going downtown is 25-ish minutes, right? Going the other way, you'll get to the Cow in 20-ish minutes. The Cow is Rita's on crack. Yeah, Rita's is,
It's not Pringle.
Priggle is the creamery.
Oh, okay. But is that the same place?
No.
Oh.
Priggle is a ice cream distributor.
This is actually
right?
a restaurant?
This is a
No.
Italian ice
Okay.
and custard.
Okay.
So my in-laws were in this past weekend and they love it because it's unique and it's fun. But it's,
So is Abbey Burger.
well, right. We haven't been, actually, I don't think we've been there with them. Have we been
I
there?
have to go now.
Yeah, we might need to go there. We'll add it to our rotation of low-key spots, right? Because you need those.
Yes.
You need the low-key spots. You need the Wicked Sisters.
I was going to say, Wicked Sisters, Carrie's great, and Poppy's as well.
Poppy's is good, but you also have to be prepared for Poppy's.
Yeah.
Poppy's isn't like tacos. Poppy's isn't, I want a taco. I want to go down there and get a taco and a quesadilla. No, Poppy's is like modernist tacos. Yeah. Very, very good, but you have to be prepared for it. And Wicked Sisters right here across the street from us, if you guys don't already know, fantastic. The thing that I laud Wicked Sisters for is that they're heavy on their sauces. So if you like sauce, that's where you want to go. It's on everything from the burgers to the steaks to the Brussels. That was what I was thinking. They just, and even the wings, there's just a lot of sauce.
Yes, I like
but if
that.
you're a sauce person, that's where you want to be. Everything is super fresh. It's great quality ingredients. And so to have someone as a next door neighbor.
One of the sauces I love. At Lock Bar, definitely don't often
Really?
go to, at the tuna poke, the sauce that goes on it, it's not even poke, it's, I don't know, it's some kind of raw tuna, and the sauce is, I would drink it.
And Lock Bar is known typically for like oysters, mussels, like your shellfish.
I can't afford that stuff, but
And it's in the Four Seasons Hotel. So down on the harbor, it's also got a good vibe, especially if you wanted to stop in there before you went somewhere else, like Little Italy around the corner or one of the other restaurants there in the harbor. Lock Bar is a great kind of like light spot. But again, it does come with a cost, so you have to be prepared for that.
and another cheaper eats at an expensive place is the French onion soup at Cap Grill. Oh my gosh.
Why is that one better than Petit Louis?
Well, that one's really good too.
Yeah, and I love French onion soup. I have French onion soup routinely.
I don't know. Well, probably because my husband gets a steak and I'm just like, I don't like that. I'm cool. And I'm like a cheap date.
Well, and the other thing, no offense to anybody that goes to these luxury steak places, luxury steak is just steak, right? At some capacity, a really good steak can be made on a cast iron pan at my house, right?
Yeah.
And to my wife's credit and some of our friends who have come over and cooked at our house, those steaks are fantastic.
Yeah.
What's challenging to get is the French onion soups. What's challenging to get is the really good rockfish with the beurre blanc sauce, right? Like these are much more unique.
Extra steps.
Right. And so if you're just going for a steak, it's kind of like you better enjoy the experience, because I will credit them at Cap. They do a nice job. So.
And shout out to Jimmy, who is a owner operator. I know it's a franchise, but I know he's part of it. And
well, maybe I've met him.
He does lots of fundraising. We do a lot of stuff with him.
They do a lot of fundraising.
He does great things.
That's true. One of the other places that made me think when you mentioned Lock Bar, Thames Street Oyster House.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good place to get kind of light, easy. They're one of the only places in the city that you can consistently get a lobster roll. And their lobster roll is very, very good, especially for being Baltimore.
Right.
I won't tell you to go down there and get it because I don't want anybody to yell at me, but their lobster roll is pretty good.
Agreed.
I'm trying to think if there's
Brunch
any
stuff is
other.
The point is good for brunches.
Oh, absolutely. And the owner's name there, do you know her?
Yeah, Erica's great.
Erica.
She's a workhorse. And
She is great.
She's fantastic.
She is really good.
Actually, the really cool thing about Fells Point, it's majority women-owned businesses.
Really? How's that? How is that?
Whoa!
A thing?
I mean,
like,
how?
No, like how do you know that?
Excuse me, I've got a call.
How do you know that?
Well, because I'm one of them, and we're
that's
loud and proud.
true.
I mean, not
But
like,
honestly, only you and Erica are the two that I can think of. Who owns?
Wicked Sisters is owned by Carrie Bottles.
Yeah, but she's not in.
Poppy's and Alexander's are the same Carrie Bottles.
Oh, she owns. I didn't know that actually. Okay, interesting. Well, you've got
Main Street,
Candace, right? You've got the brothers, the
boutiques.
Atlas brothers on Waterfront. You've got the Atlas brothers
Well, okay,
at
besides
Admiral.
Atlas. Besides
I mean,
Atlas.
I'm just naming restaurants around the
well,
way.
I'll put them all together as
What's
one.
going to go in where Bertha's was?
I just heard it just went up at auction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm very curious. It's such a prime location, and I feel like they had a big opportunity for street frontage, but they never sort of brought that into their restaurant. Bertha's,
They were old school.
it was very old school. It was unique. It was cool, but it wasn't, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. Yeah. So the only time I ever went to Bertha's was when, as a matter of fact, I think you guys were full and there was a restaurant next to you guys at one time. Or no, it was when 8 Ball was in town.
Oh, yeah.
And they were full as well. So then we ended up at Bertha's. But it was like third choice, you know?
And Bob's gone too. The brick oven pizza right there in the corner.
Right. I did know that.
That was a staple.
Well, and Max's is still going strong up there. I want to see that kind of corridor from Alexander's south sort of revitalized.
Oh,
I
you
think
and
we
me both.
we live a little too heavily on the night scene.
Yeah.
And as we've seen, that's changed post-COVID, and there's a great nightlife scene there, but it's not doing anything for the community of Fells Point. It's not doing anything for the waterfront or for the engagement with the city or for the walkability of the community. Yeah. I mean, the boutiques have been closing down there. There's just not
They're really trying.
a value.
And I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there was the at least the perception of a lot of crime going on, because the news likes to make it even worse and then scare people. But the police presence has been great, and a lot of the business owners have been pulling together the waterfront partnerships and trying to get it so that we can stay open later, but not necessarily rely on that. Because the water, I mean, the hotel, the Pendry, and you can go to the pool for the day, which is really a cool thing to do. You can just get a pool pass for the day and just be like, hey, with your lady friends, whatever, and hop in and have some cocktails. And
we don't talk enough about the Pendry, right? Like the Pendry has such a unique value, but I feel like, and in some ways, when I've stayed at the Pendry, they do such a job trying to keep you engaged, like involved. They do so much to provide services. The restaurant is amazing. The general manager of the restaurant is a friend of ours. Like, just a really great experience. But at the same time, it would be nice to be able to get some more of that community involvement where Pendry becomes a part of Fells Point rather than just a staple, right?
Yeah, like absolutely. I feel like we worked on that right when they first opened, but then it was kind of COVID because we were like handing out menus to like hand out to the guests.
Well, that was when we went first. I was working at Bond Street Social, and they opened and they were like, "Hey, come and you guys will have it." We had like a champagne party in one of the suites, and that was like their promotional thing. It was 10 of us from the restaurant. We went over. We had like a champagne party overlooking the water,
that's cool.
And that was cool. It was like a really cool way to engage. But then COVID happened, and I feel like a lot of the community, the bartending community, sort of left because of COVID, and it's almost this new revitalization. But one thing I will say for Fells Point and Abbey is the farmers market, right? Like how much traffic comes down for the farmers market?
Oh, it's pretty big, and especially I guess because of whatever's going on under the bridge is changing. It's busy. It's a pain in the butt to get stuff there on Saturday mornings, but it definitely brings a lot of people in, and it drives traffic into the business. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's one of the few things that I think about as Fells Point beyond late night, right? The Fells Point Fun Festival has gone 15, 18 years?
Oh, it's more than that.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, yeah. I don't know
Googling
the answer.
Fells. You should know these things. This is your restaurant.
It is not my festival.
Point
it is a great
Fun.
weekend.
I will tell you. Fells Point 2025, October 10th to 12th. They usually have like the year. No? 60th anniversary. No way. No way.
I was going to say 30, so we both would have been way off. Yeah,
but at any rate.
Long time.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think of when I think of like Fells Point daytime. Yeah. There's just not a lot going on there if I'm not going for brunch or I'm not going to a restaurant. And I feel like the farmers market has really given a reason or a purpose for people to go and explore.
There are a lot of cool boutiques and stuff there too. Not as many as there was before, like you said, unfortunately. But I also think it's cool to, go up and down the streets and kind of window shop at some of the stores.
I think we're going to see a lot more happening as more of that improvement. I hate to call it revitalization, but it's improvement to the community farther north, especially with the Perkins Homes redevelopment. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more happening farther north, and I hope that's going to mean for more restaurants, more shops, more sort of like day-to-day operations. Rather than having the corner store, you're going to have like the convenience store. And there's a big difference there in this, the type of people, the culture, the way that it brands itself. And I hope that kind of drives traffic up and down the road. But in general, I think we've seen that so much from Canton to Mount Washington, from other neighborhoods like Station North, which is continuing to redevelop.
Oh, Guilford's a cool space.
Guilford's a fantastic space. We've got so much happening.
And all these random breweries that have
There's
everywhere.
one going in across the street.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and that's cool. That's a cool thing about Baltimore.
How in the world is that even happening?
I don't know.
How is it even
Pig Town?
permitted? I don't
there's
understand.
There's a bunch of random ones in in funny locations sometimes.
Yeah, but it also gives a lot of reason for people to go there that would have never. Like Pig Town was. I never went to Pig Town before I was in real estate.
I've driven to some of these places, and it's nice.
Yeah. Well, and forget nice, right? It's just it exists,
right?
Like I had never been. And so when I think about Baltimore, I used to think like, oh, I'm going, because my prominence in Baltimore was either I'm going on a field trip or I'm going to visit my mom at work, right? And those are the two reasons that I came to Baltimore. But then as a grown-up, I started going to go out to the bars. And then it was like, oh, there's this other neighborhood, Canton, which I had never heard of. So, okay, let's go out to the bars over there. And then it became sports and intramurals and Patterson Park and all these different things. But now I'm not doing intramural sports anymore. Now I'm not going out to the bar until 2 a.m. every night. I'm using the city for what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm stopping off at a random snowball stand, which might be my favorite space in the entire city.
The one on the avenue?
No, the one on Walther.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
I would have to look it up. Snowballs.
But the city also has lots of cool art things and festivals, and there's so much going on in the city if you look for it.
Yeah. Peggy is what it's called.
Peggy?
Peggy. Okay. It is a snowball stand. See if they have a picture of the outside. There you go. How cute is this little spot? And the road is right here. Like literally you park right there.
Is it new?
Peggy took over the space, but the snowball stand is like a century old. Seriously.
Wow.
But
check it out.
I happened to be selling a house in the area, and I was doing something, and by happenstance, I stopped into the garden center for something I needed. And I was like, what is this place? And the guy was like, well, yeah, we've been doing this XYZ. So at some point later in the week, I was waiting for my client. I stopped in. I was like, can I get a snowball? And they were like, sure. Boutique snowballs, ice cream in the middle, marshmallow fluff on top, like really, really cool. And it was just one of those things that I was like, I didn't know that this existed 2 weeks ago, and now it's one of my favorite parts of Baltimore. And I feel like there's a lot to that, whether it's the nurseries or the gardens. There's so much more than just the zoo, right? There's so much more.
The museums are free. The Baltimore Museum of Art and the Walters are both free.
But people don't explore that. They don't explore for food. They don't explore. They're just, we're going to so-and-so, or, oh, where do we want to go? Like, honestly, we didn't think about going to Abbey Burger this weekend. We certainly could have. But it's that sort of, Baltimore is a community of flavor, a community of different restaurants.
So many different flavors. And I said, I really like that it's not chain restaurants.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
mass-produced frozen stuff. You get a lot of
mass-produced frozen stuff. We don't hate it all. Actually, earlier, one of the things that came up was like, what restaurants would you go to in different parts of the city? So we brought up kind of like in Canton, where would you go? And in Highlandtown, where would you go? And in Little Italy, and of course, Chipperelli's won that battle. But like, where would you go if you were going to like, let's say, I don't know, Greektown, Highlandtown, Brewers Hill, like that Western Canton or Eastern Canton?
Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. Well, Sally O's is awesome. Yeah. Goodness. I actually like some of like the funkier little places that, I can't even think it's in Upper Fells, but like the Taqueria or whatever. That's like just like, not gringo tacos.
Not gringo.
It doesn't have like the
See, my
cheese
thing,
and
as
stuff.
soon as I said Greektown, was Samos.
Yeah.
Like OG Samos.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I didn't know that existed there. I'm like, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Right? Or Di Pasquale's, which now is a little bit more of like a, fancy modernist Italian market, but still their food, their sandwiches. You can get a full Italian dinner and sit on their sidewalk. Like it's very, very nice. One of my favorite places in Federal Hill used to be, what was it? No Way
Abbey
Jose?
Burger.
Well, yeah, but then they closed. So, dun, 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 dun. Or if you're like in the mood for a cheesesteak.
I liked the old Riley's.
Love the old Riley's.
Partial because my husband worked there, but
well, partial. But now you've got McGurk's, which is a great place for cheesesteaks.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Also, you can't forget about Wayward.
Yeah.
There's just so many unique places in each different little neighborhood. Do you have a favorite neighborhood?
No, I like hopping around. It depends on what's going on and what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay.
I don't like to stay in one place. I like to travel.
Bounce around. Do you ever go to Mount Washington Tavern?
Yeah, sometimes. But it's usually when I'm there, I'm close to work, so I'm just going to be working.
Yeah.
But sangria is one of my my loves as well, and Tio Pepe's.
Do you guys have sangria on the menu?
No.
Why?
We should.
I feel like if that was your love, if I owned a restaurant, that was like my thing, I would. And sangria is so easy to make.
It is.
So easy.
But I make it at home sometimes.
Well, share with the world. When we worked at Chiparelli's, we made sangria, and it was the strongest sangria I've ever had in my life.
Brian had a part in that. Probably.
It was. I had never made sangria before. And he's like, yeah, we put in a bottle of brandy and a bottle of this. And I was like, okay. Super strong. And then now I go and somebody's like, oh, I made sangria. I'm like, what is this?
This is a spritzer.
This doesn't taste like anything.
It's a spritzer.
But yeah, if you have the opportunity to throw sangria on your menu, you should.
Yeah.
Especially now, this is the season for it.
Yeah.
In this early summer, middle of the summer, the heat.
I'm inspired.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it would be easy. The other thing about sangria, if you guys don't know, I always call it trash wine because it's just a combination of all the stuff, right? And you just mix it all out, right? And in our case, we used to use like
the cheap wine.
Brand new wine. Yeah. It was just like little this, little that, little that. Today we're gonna throw in some peach brandy. Some,
peach
tomorrow
shots.
we're gonna throw in some triple sec.
There's a good one. Mama's on the Half Shell. Their white sangria with the peach. Oh, phenomenal! I just thought of it now.
Also, white sangria with strawberries and peach.
Oh, it's never
how can you go wrong?
But that's never anywhere. Now, and that's what
now
I
at Abbey Burger.
It's coming soon.
Haterade and white sangria. Look out. Well, the thing for me that's cool is just to kind of have this entire vibe, this experience in our city that I don't think you can get in other places. I'm sure that this exists in New York, so don't yell at me.
But there's so much in New York. This is a small city.
Yeah, but is there this? Yeah. I don't feel like this exists in New York.
Yeah, maybe not.
I feel like this vibe, this authentically creative, just unabashedly myself, doesn't exist anywhere because every other major city is trying to do the next thing. And Hamden, Mount Washington, Fells Point, these are some of the neighborhoods where people just
be themselves.
Sorry, sometimes Susu, I love you. Fuck it, right? I don't know what to say. There's no other way about it, right?
You can tell when you walk around.
Well, look at Wicked Sisters. Yeah. They're we don't care. We're on a main road. Yeah. We're gonna serve damn good food. Right. We're gonna put together a great menu and a pretty darn good service staff. Why not put sangria on your menu? People would love it.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm doing it.
So I think if you guys are ever looking for it, Abbey Burger, there's 3 of them. Mount Wash, right by Mount Washington Tavern. What is the street that you guys are actually on?
We're on Kelly Ave.
Tiny little street.
Kelly Avenue.
And then Fells Point, right in the center of Fells Point on Broadway. And then where's the one in Havre de Grace?
It's right on, there's really only 2 main streets.
Okay.
But North Washington.
North Washington Street.
See the water.
I've been to Havre de Grace.
First Friday, this Friday. It's amazing.
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
In the streets?
Yeah, every first Friday from May to October.
Free burgers for everyone.
That's no, I'm kidding. She said.
Not what she said. First Fridays from May to October. Is it music festival?
Oh, yeah. And
do you guys do something in the street, or are you
we do both.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Shucking oysters on the street.
Well, we wouldn't do oysters,
right.
But we cook burgers on the grill.
Oh, really?
And then we have a beer garden.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, that
is really fun, actually. Well, if you need to, make sure you stop in there. What's the website they can find you guys on?
www.abbeyburger.com.
And do you have an InstaWorld?
All the things.
They're all separate. On Instagram.
So you're gonna have to do some research.
Okay. Well, you guys are gonna make sure you can find them on ours. We're definitely gonna tag you in some of our posts, but you can always find me on Instagram at michael.frank_____. Or you can read about our blog and so much more on our website at frankoliverco.com/blog. Maybe under additional resources /blog. I don't really know. Find it on there and we'll reach out to you guys. Look forward to it and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.